absolutely incredible names and people there, but before we start to get introduced to the next crop for this year, please be upstanding as the official party enters the room.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair in joyful strains, and let us sing. Advance Australia fair.
Well done. Please be seated, and yes, keep that applause going for Carla from All About Her. She did an absolutely beautiful job. Well, thank you for joining us at the presentation of the South Australian of the Year Awards for 2021. I'm Ali Clark from ABC Radio Adelaide, and it's my great pleasure to be your host this afternoon into the evening at the incredible Adelaide Oval. And she is going to be very, very busy this week. This wonderful awards ceremony, of course, Port Adelaide up against the Tigers for the prelim. And I thought, well, one person cares, great. And then, of course, the Sandford Grand Final on the Sunday. So it's great that we get to be here to warm her up. And yes, this event is going to look a little bit different this year, but it's going to be very prestigious nonetheless. So to those present, thank you for being here, and we really want you to enjoy the occasion, but please make sure you are COVID safe. Otherwise, I'll be reporting on you tomorrow, and that will be embarrassing. Okay, so I'd also like to welcome all of those watching online. Thank you very, very much for joining us, and we hope you enjoy the evening. So in this year, of all years, the Aussie spirit has come to the fore. We've had everything from national disasters to the dreaded C word, the coronavirus, and our nation's heroes have inspired awe with their selfless acts. Whether or not they've been battling bushfires to save the lives of people or wildlife, maybe showing kindness through charity to help those in need, or caring for those who have suffered during the ongoing pandemic. We've seen the absolute best of the best, displaying incredible qualities that we make us really, really proud to call Australia home, and even prouder to call South Australia home. This has been a truly extraordinary year, and our nominees are truly outstanding Australians. I'd like to now, though, officially welcome His Excellency the Honourable Hugh Van Lay, and AC, Governor of South Australia, and his wife, Mrs Landley, thank you. The Honourable Stephen Marshall, MP. Premier of South Australia is here. Senator the Honourable David Fawcett, Senator for South Australia. Minister for Child Protection and State Member for Adelaide, the Honourable Rachel Sanderson MP is with us. Mr Peter Malinauskas, MP, Leader of the Opposition, welcome to you. The Right Honourable Lord Mayor, Ms Sandy Verschoor, thank you very much for coming. The Honourable Jing Lee, MLC JP, Assistant Minister to the Premier, is with us. Mr Steve Georgianis, MP, Member for the Australian Parliament. Senior Defence Force and SAPOL Representative representatives, welcome to you all. Adriano Stendado, the Consul of Italy in South Australia. Mr Peter Sokas, the Chair of the Australia Day Council for South Australia. We also have Ms Jan Shawley, Chief Executive Officer of Australia Day Council of South Australia. To all of the Australia Day Council of SA board members, welcome to you. You will hear from Mr Jack Buckskin, a proud Kaurna and Narungga man. He was our 2011 SA Young Australian of the Year from memory. He'll be with us in a sec. Also, to council mayors, sponsors, tonight's nominees, Dr Richard Harry Harris is here. He, of course, was the 2019 Australian of the Year dual recipient. Dr James Mukey AM is here. He is the 2020 Australian of the Year recipient. We have been punching well above our weight here in SA, haven't we? Absolutely. We've also been joined by Ms Sylvia McMillan, the 2020 South Australian Senior Australian of the Year, and Ms Emma Money, SA's Local Hero of 2020. To all former recipients that are here, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I think we can say all the right people are in the room. Fair enough? Great, excellent. Now, before we do get into the formalities, if you do want to share tonight's event on social media, make sure you just do use the hashtag Oz of the Year. That's AUS, Oz of the Year. You can get across Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, because if it's not on Instagram, it doesn't happen. So make sure you do get involved, though, and push out the incredible work of these wonderful people to the wider community. Now, though, I would like to introduce Jack Buckskin to welcome us to country.
You shouldn't be allowed to wear heels. You're already taller than me. Namani. Good. We got a few. We're getting there. Each year I say that we're getting a little bit more. Namani means are you all good? Yes, we're excited. Very well, everybody. For those that don't know me, my name's Jack. I'm a Kaurna representative. I represent our elders that are standing here. I acknowledge our elders as well. I acknowledge all other Aboriginal people that gather in our lands, but I get the opportunity to represent our people and welcome us all onto country. For me, I'm honoured to be able to come to this as well. It was only 10 years ago I was on the other side, so and now I'm up here showing off a little bit with a little bit of me time for Welcome to Country. So I'll savour this as much as possible because it'll be another 30 years before I'm eligible for a Senior Australian of the Year. But look, I'm honoured that I get the opportunity to be involved in this. I'm the first person in my family to be able to speak language fluently and to be able to teach it, and also to be able to speak it publicly. So in saying that, I welcome you onto this part of the country on behalf of Kaurna people. I want to pay respects to our elders, our other Aboriginal people that are gathered here. To everybody that lives and breathes on this part of the country, a very special welcome to you, but I want to also acknowledge our spiritual ancestors of the country we gather on. I'm going to play a little bit of the didgeridoo to finish off and just to set the tone, but firstly I want to introduce myself. Everybody knows me as Jack, but my real name is Vincent, so on my award it was Vincent Buckskin, and not many people know that. Now everybody knows that. My Aboriginal name though is Ganyapundawitpinakudnuitja. It's a bit of a tongue twister, so Jack is fine. I represent Kaurna of the Adelaide Plains, but Narungga and the Wirango people as well. So Ngatangi Wilda Kaurna, Narungga, Wirango meal. Ngachi Yalarapa, Italian Scottish meal. My dad's Italian and Scottish. I also acknowledge him when I stand here as well. I think my kids like got this title for like we're talking about Australian of the Year. I think you can't really get more Australian than my kids. Their first one is that they're part of the First Nations. Two, they're pretty multicultural. They've got Italian and Scottish, Vietnamese and English on top of their Aboriginal heritage. But their mum's name is Case Anne. I don't think you can get any more Australian than that. But look, I acknowledge everybody for standing here. On behalf of our elders and other Kaurna people, welcome to country. But I want to acknowledge our spiritual ancestors by singing this song. Welcome to country. What that song's about, it's about calling our ancestors to come and join us at this gathering to protect people and protect country. We do this to kick off all ceremonies, and to be able to do it with spotlights and lecterns is just as appropriate as doing it out on sand and out on country. So I'm honoured that I get to influence and participate and educate people along that way as well. The Yirrkala, the traditional owners of the Yolngu people from Arnhem Land, I acknowledge them for allowing me to play this instrument as well. I acknowledge them in their language and mine for allowing me to play this, and more specifically my wawa and my babla, my father and my brother from up there, who encouraged me to play as much as possible. I like to mix it up. They're very traditional when they play. I like to mix it up a little bit. Those that have seen me, I like to have a little bit of fun with the didgeridoo. So right at the end, now if you've seen this joke, just play along. Those that haven't, and people online are just going to love this, aren't they? Now I'm going to say Australian of the Year through the didgeridoo right at the end.
He is absolutely one of the best. Thank you so much to Jacob Buckskin. Now, though, I'd like to invite on stage Nancy Bates to perform Old Black Woman.
Thank you, Jack.
Old black woman sits alone, weeping for an old friend who was just passed on, and with tears in her eyes, she looks through photographs. It takes her back to the old times. They first met in a home. They were taken from their families by the protection board. They held each other in the night when the longing for their mothers left them overcome with fright. Although those against the system for their rights they would reclaim. But now she steps into the light. She'll go to her in her dreams tonight. Hand in hand they'll walk a while once more, and her suffering will end. She lay down in peaceful rest, knowing the bond between them gave their lives such meaning and something to be thankful for. Take that old black woman by the hand. Look into her eyes, let her know you understand. Sit beside her and dry those eyes, the way she did for you when you were a child. And listen to her words, for the chance may soon be gone for the lesson to be learned. She is strong and she is wise, but her heart is full of sorrow. There's a funeral tomorrow. To an old friend she'll say goodbye.
Absolutely incredible. Thank you to you both. Nancy Bates there, wasn't that wonderful? This is about the best news ever because I don't have to follow them. That is the job of the chair of the Australia Day Council for South Australia. So please welcome Mr. Peter Sokas.
Thank you, Ali. I'd like to acknowledge that the land we meet on tonight is the traditional lands for the Kaurna people and that we respect their spiritual relationship with their country. We also acknowledge the Kaurna people as the traditional custodians of the Adelaide region and that their cultural and heritage beliefs are still as important to the living Kaurna people today. I also would like to acknowledge Jack Buckskin for his very generous welcome to country. Thank you, Jack. And personally, I'm really glad you have a name in Kaurna language because someone who comes from a Greek background, it's something we've had to face for many years where you have a Greek name and then you anglicise it. And I know there's numerous Greeks in the audience, so thank you for that and I acknowledge that. His Excellency, the Premier, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to welcome you all to the presentation of the 2021 Australian of the Year Awards for South Australia. What an extraordinary year it has been. 2020 commenced with ongoing raging bushfires, hailstorms, drought, and then of course, COVID-19. Against this backdrop, many South Australians, including some in this room tonight, have given far beyond their respective roles in order to support South Australian and our communities. Since the inception of the National Australian of the Year Awards program over 60 years ago, it is clear how so many of the Australian of the Year recipients have contributed to changing the Australian landscape and have shone a light on matters that are important to all of us. Australians of the Year have raised the bar on issues like racism and reconciliation, including individuals like Adam Goods, Luigi O'Donoghue and Kathy Freeman, domestic violence campaigner Rosie Batty, eye health and diabetes Fred Hollows and Ida Buttrose, who chose to focus on Alzheimer's disease. Our two very own South Australians and most recent Australians of the Year have been no different. Dr. Richard Harris, of course we all know him, following the rescue of the Thai boys and the soccer coach, took on the opportunity to promote the importance of young people engaging more with the natural environment. And more recently, Dr. James Mukey, our current Australian of the Year, has passionately amplified the need to build greater awareness across the community on the causes of diabetes and mitigating those risk factors. These awards celebrate great Australians who have made a difference to Australia and reflect our values as a nation. Each year, Australians nominate individuals who they believe are worthy of the nation's attention. Quiet achievers and community members, individuals who lead by example, inspire others with their achievements, and who make a difference locally, nationally, and globally. To the finalists who we are recognising tonight, congratulations to each of you on your achievements. It is a great privilege for the Australia Day Council of South Australia to be able to highlight your achievements. Our thanks must also go to the Australia Day Council of South Australia sponsors and supporters. There are many of our supporters present tonight, and I thank you sincerely for your ongoing contribution, either as a sponsor, corporate member or individual member. I'd also like to acknowledge the support of the Department of Premier and Cabinet and the National Australia Day Council. We greatly value the partnership we have with both the DPC and the national body. Another very important stakeholder of the Australia Day Council is local government, who on Australia Day conduct over 130 events and functions across South Australia to acknowledge our National Day each year. There are a number of mayors and elected members in attendance here tonight, and we thank you for your significant role you play in bringing your communities together on Australia Day each year, and especially the welcome you provide to all the new citizens. I'd also like to acknowledge our previous Australian of the Year award recipients who are here this evening and who make up the Australian of the Year Ambassador and Alumni Fellowship. Finally, I'd also like to thank our board members, the CEO and her team at the Australia Day Council of South Australia for the hard work to ensure that everything we do across the year in celebrating this great state and nation is maintained at the highest standards. The Australia Day Council celebrates our diverse, rich and many-layered cultures and communities that comprise who we are today. Now, if I could just return to the finalists. Congratulations on becoming a finalist in the Australian of the Year Awards. This is one of this nation's most recognised and esteemed awards, and you should be very proud of your achievements to be named here tonight. From the thousands of nominations around the country, you have progressed to this stage, and we celebrate each of you and what you bring. Congratulations to each of you, and a big round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you. So in this year of all years, we actually received more than double the number of award nominations this year, which I think really has reflected the enormous challenges that we've all faced together. Now, as you've mentioned a couple of times, from those nominations, it is whittled down to 16 incredible people, and the South Australian panel had that job to get them to there. And they're the people that we are celebrating this evening. One recipient will soon be announced in each category, whether or not it's Australia's local hero, the Young Australian of the Year, the Senior Australian of the Year, or of course the Australian of the Year. And then those four will then go to join the other state and territory recipients at the National Awards on the eve of Australia Day. And that will be announced by the Prime Minister and broadcast live on ABC TV and iView. So whatever the outcome of this evening, congratulations to everybody. All of the nominees richly deserve to be here, and please put your hands together and congratulate them for this incredible opportunity. I'd now like to invite Premier Stephen Marshall to the stage.
To His Excellency the Honourable Hugh Van Lay, AC, Governor of South Australia, Mrs Landley, to all of our distinguished guests, but in particular tonight to the Australian of the Year, Dr James Mukey AM, ladies and gentlemen. I also would like to acknowledge that tonight we're meeting on the traditional lands of the Kaurna people, and we acknowledge their ongoing spiritual relationship with this precious land. I'd also like to say, isn't it fantastic to be out in a room with other people? You know, earlier this year we didn't think this could even be a possibility, and the only reason that tonight's celebration of some great South Australians is possible is because of the generosity of all South Australians who have done the right thing, learned about the coronavirus pandemic, educated themselves about how it's transmitted, listened to the government, listened to the health officials, listened to the police commissioner, and I think that it says something about the character of South Australians. I think that what we have achieved here this year is a great celebration of who we are as South Australians, to educate ourselves, to protect ourselves and our families, our communities and our businesses. And here we are tonight, the happy beneficiaries of this incredible situation. I do have to add, we can't be complacent, and so we do all need to continue to observe all of those restrictions that are in place in South Australia. But I am very confident that the great South Australian character, which has got us to this very enviable situation that we arrive in at the moment, will continue us into the future. And this is a great night of celebration for our state. Each year, our nation celebrates the achievement and contributions of eminent Australians through the Australian of the Year awards by profiling our leading citizens who are role models for us all. They inspire us through their achievements, and they challenge us to make our own contributions to creating a better Australia. The awards honour an exceptional group of highly respected South Australians who ignite discussion and change on issues of national importance. The Australian of the Year awards recognise great South Australians doing great things for our community here in our state. The finalists come from all walks of life and have great stories to share and lead and lead us with their life example. They volunteer, educate, they advocate. They lead a life that all South Australians should be extraordinarily proud. I know that I am. These South Australians are recognised for the efforts that they make to make South Australia a better place. Tonight, we recognise those people who have been nominated. I, on behalf of the government, congratulate all those people who are nominees in this year's awards ceremony. I thank Peter Tsoukas and the committee here in South Australia who have worked very, very hard. I thank them for the excellent evening that they've put on, and in particular the fact that so many of the previous award winners have been invited back tonight to share in this special night of celebration for our state. I thank all of my parliamentary colleagues, state and federal, past and present, also our friends from the local government sector here in South Australia, and I do acknowledge Sandy Verschoor, the Right Honourable Lord Mayor of Adelaide, but also many of the mayors and councillors, elected representatives who are all supporters of this award. Thank you very much for coming along tonight, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
If you want, we'll be a little while if you'd like to take a seat and relax. I don't know if I get a black mark against my name telling the Premier what to do, but thank you. Oh, have we got government secrets in here, Premier? At all? Well, be listening tomorrow between 6 and 9, weekday mornings on the ABC. Well, now it is time to meet our first crop of incredible nominees as we commence your South Australian presentation, and our first award category goes to the Australian Local Hero. This award recognises Australians that have made a significant contribution to their local community. So let's have a look at what this category is all about and some of the important work of the recipients over the past years.
Local heroes are really important to keeping Australian communities strong because they're the glue. They're there to inspire, to communicate with, to stay motivated, to lift everybody in that community when the chips are down.
I stand before you not as an individual, but as a proud representative of every teacher around the country.
Community's much more than belonging to something. It's about doing something together that makes belonging matter.
Anything's possible. You are the answer. And it only starts with a simple thing.
Australia's local hero category was added to reflect so many Australians out there that contribute to their local community.
When I give, I feel incredible joy, but I also feel this great sense of connection.
Our local heroes are everyday Australians who achieve extraordinary things. These are Australians who we celebrate as an example of what we can achieve when we put others before ourselves.
Australia's Local Hero Award celebrates remarkable Australians who go above and beyond to be active citizens, making extraordinary contributions in their local communities and showcasing our Australian values. They do not seek praise, but simply want to make their community a better place. So congratulations to all of the finalists in the Australia Local Hero Awards.
Out of our almost countless millions of fellow Australians, we choose this handful each year to honour them, to support them and to encourage them.
Out of our tragedy, we created Dolly's Dream, a vision to educate families and communities on the impacts that bullying has on young lives.
To our Aussie kids doing it tough, hang on, don't give up, help's on the way.
These are the people that form the fabric of our nation. They're on call 24/7 and will jump whenever there's an emergency or someone needs help. And as I say, they show you what's great about the people of Australia.
Well, of course, they don't want the praise, but that's exactly what we're here to do. So please, I'd like to introduce you to your 2021 South Australian Local Hero nominees.
Russell Ebert, a household name for anyone involved with the Port Adelaide Football Club. A 4-time winner of the McGarry Medal, awarded to the best and fairest player in the South Australian National Football League, he's considered one of the club's all-time greats. Today, Russell continues to give back to the club and the South Australian community. He spends his time leading and delivering the club's Power Community Limited youth programs. These include the Power to End Violence Against Women program, which has reached more than 5,000 Year 10 students since 2016. Rodney O'Brien, who provides cultural support to young Aboriginal people and cultural awareness for non-Indigenous students and staff to enable them to contribute more meaningfully towards reconciliation. A proud member of the Gowna and Adelaide Aboriginal community, Rod draws on his first-hand experience with the difficulties Indigenous students face in a predominantly Western society. Rod is passionate about sharing his knowledge, experiences and language with Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal people alike. He creates a welcoming and non-judgmental space that nurtures engagement with Aboriginal history, language and culture. Craig Scott, whose contributions to the Goodwood Saints Football Club for more than 43 years have created a supportive, inclusive culture. Thanks to Craig's vision and guidance, everyone is welcome and valued. The club develops junior players and supports players with mental disabilities or physical limitations through the SANFL Inclusive League. The club also actively supports social justice issues and causes such as the Red Shield Appeal, breast cancer and mental health awareness, Indigenous issues and White Ribbon Day. Craig's strong leadership has helped create a stronger, healthier and more resilient community. Melanie Tate, a former social worker who saw that children living away from their birth parents were among the most vulnerable in the state. In 2012, she founded the not-for-profit organisation Puddle Jumpers to help these children and teens form positive childhood memories. Puddle Jumpers does this by providing experiences such as camps and mentoring programs. It also offers practical support to vulnerable families through its weekly community food nights. Throughout the pandemic, Puddle Jumpers has provided drive-through food collections in 9 locations around South Australia, handing out thousands of food hampers to people in need.
4 pretty incredible people there. Please stand up. Where are you, my nominees? Congratulations to all 4 of you for getting to this stage. I now would like to welcome Premier Stephen Marshall back to the stage, as well as our 2020 SA local hero, Emma Money, to announce the South Australia's local hero for 2021. Do you want to say a few words?
Good evening. Well, I'm going to steal the microphone because I have the gift of the gab.
Do it.
You do realise he is a politician and you've just...
So I have 60 seconds to talk, so I'm going to try and make this quick. First of all, to the nominees this year, I want you to remember that you're all winners. I remember being told that last year, but you truly are. To be recognised in this category amongst so many South Australians, you should be very proud of who you are and what you're doing for our community. It's amazing. Secondly, winning this award for me this year, I did not expect it. And I look back at the video that was first played, and I can honestly say I have grown so much as a person. I have made lifelong friends. I'm now nudging shoulders with people like this man behind me. But it's been amazing. Make the most of every opportunity that comes with this award. It is life-changing in ways you will never imagine. So congratulations. I'm about to announce this year's local hero. Would you like to do it?
No, do it.
Do it? Okay. I'm taking over. I'm going to take his job next. So I'm very excited to announce the 2021 local hero for South Australia is Russell Ebert, sorry.
So, Russell, how much do you love having your photo taken in front of people? It's great, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? They said, come along and have a couple of drinks and enjoy the evening, and now you're up here with the lights on, so oh well, nothing's changed.
Tell us a little bit about why. I mean, I live with an old footballer and all he does is really eat. But you obviously...
I do a bit of that.
You've obviously taken your love of community those steps further and used the football connections that you had, the love of the Port Adelaide Football Club, and are doing this incredible work. Why was that so important to you?
Well, it's about giving a bit back. It's about a club with a profile like we've got to do something in the community. So 21 years ago, they came to me, the club, and said we'd like to set up a community youth program and do something out in the community. I said, well, how do you see it coming together? They said, well, that's up to you. So I thought, righto, bugger it, it will be up to me. and with the help of Education Department, Premier and Cabinet, we started our community programs and just talked about healthy lifestyles and making good decisions and building relationships. And we used the footy club with the profile and the Education Department to deliver that, and our players and our young female athletes were delivering those messages on a weekly basis. And as the program grew, we had other organisations come to us and say, look, we'd like to partner with you. And Centre Care came 5 years ago, and they said, look, we've got a really huge domestic violence relationship breakdown. We'd like you to get involved and be a part of trying to do something about the disgraceful statistics that are out there. So we said, yeah. So 5 years ago, we started delivering our Respectful Relationships program to Year 10 boys. They identified that age group as the group that were starting relationships or had relationships, and being males were sort of high in the statistics of being vulnerable. And so for the last 5 years, we've visited hundreds of schools and thousands of students, and we've talked about the importance of respectful relationships. And that goes with sitting at the table with Mr. Bruggeman, and he's talking about diet and exercise for diabetes. And we sort of thought, well, let's talk about respectful relationships, whether it's in school, whether it's in the workplace, whether it's in the home. And we've delivered that and really enjoyed it. The players really get involved in it because they've got so many different relationships that they're forming in their lifestyles and with their partners and family. So we just used the profile of the footy club to get out and open some doors and deliver some messages. And that's what we've been doing, and we're really pleased and proud of the contribution we're making. If we can turn one or two young fellas into more respectful people and have good relationships, well then everyone wins. I like it when everyone wins. And congratulations to the other nominees. You're all from wonderful organisations, and it's really proud to be here tonight. So,
well, I'll tell you what, at Adelaide Oval, you are now the 2021 local hero for South Australia. Congratulations, Russell. Of course, it might be an even bigger week for Russell and the club. The Port, I should have asked you who's going to win. Would it have been, well, of course. Congratulations. Now, Premier Marshall, I'm giving you some serious exercise tonight because I might get you to come back up onto stage and present the next award if I can. And this is the Young Australian of the Year award category. Now, this recognises inspiring young Australians aged between 16 and 30 who've accomplished great things already in all walks of life.
Since 1979, we've had the Young Australian of the Year category, and that's acknowledging 16 to 30-year-olds. And let's face it, youth is the future of the nation.
I truly view this award not just as for me, but rather as an endorsement of the achievements of Australian women's football national team, and more broadly, Australian women's football and women's sport in general.
Whether it be through encouragement, support, or their own ambition, we all deserve the chance to dream. So dream big, Australia, because anything's possible.
Inspiring others, educating others, celebrating the fact that we have a fantastic country to live in where we can be and grow to our full potential.
We have the power to shape the future and make Australia a place where we're all proud, where we all belong, and where we stand united.
This award ceremony is in a sense a celebration of the idea that individuals use his or her ability to give back to our great nation.
To look at our Young Australians of the Year is to glimpse into the future of our great nation. Their tenacity, commitment and success defy their age. These are young Australians who are making a lasting difference to our great nation.
It takes about 1 hour to wash and dry someone's clothes, and after about 2 minutes to set up, there's not a huge amount to do. So we pull out the 6 orange chairs and everyone sits around and has a really nice chat, and that 1 hour time is a really powerful time for that.
You look for integrity, you look for human decency, and you look for energy.
For me, it's my whole life, all of my team, all of everyone that I work with, it's about being your authentic self. Like I said, just trying to do the best that you can, regardless of what you do, whether it's in sport, in life, in anything. So this is incredibly humbling, and yeah, I know that it's going to be something that sits very, very, very high on my mental piece at home.
I dream of an Australia where people are not afraid of learning Auslan, of having a go and uniting with a language that is uniquely Australian.
When you look at what they've done, and you look at where they're going, we're in good hands.
And the nominees. The nominees for the 2021 South Australian Young Australian of the Year are
Alicia Bake, who arrived in Australia as an asylum seeker in 2011, looking for a safe place to live and a better future. After witnessing firsthand the need for affordable housing for new arrivals, she launched the Affordable Sustainable Housing Program in 2018. Alicia worked with academics, government and communities to find sustainable and affordable solutions for building new homes. Today, her program provides more than 200 affordable homes to vulnerable and low-income families in the city of Playford Council, giving these new Australians a place to call home. Isabel Marshall, an 18-year-old who's making a positive difference to women around the world. With business partner Eloise Hall, she crowdfunded $56,000 to launch the social enterprise Taboo, which sells high-quality, ethically sourced organic cotton pads and tampons to the Australian market. 100% of the net profits from the business go to One Girls, a charity providing educational programs for girls and women in Sierra Leone and Uganda. At the same time, Isabel is studying degrees in medicine and surgery at the University of Adelaide. Tori Marshall, co-founder and director of Lift Up Voices, or LUV, and the Lift Up Voices Foundation. LUV enables artists with disability to reach their potential through music by providing inclusive programs in singing, songwriting, recording, production, music and podcasting. Tori recently launched the LUV BLM, Black Lives Matter initiative in the United States, providing training in song and movie creation, giving youth in marginalised communities the tools to tell their own stories. Tori has also delivered programs and initiatives in schools, orphanages and organisations in Jamaica and Los Angeles. Holly Scott, a road safety advocate who uses her own traumatic experience to educate others about the devastating effects of car accidents. In 2017, Holly was driving to visit her boyfriend when her car hit a tree. Emergency services had to cut her free from the wreckage. After emerging from a 15-day coma with a brain injury, Holly had to learn to walk and talk again. Holly's accident and recovery are the subject of a 7-part web documentary, Driven. Holly continues to speak on road safety at public engagements and in schools.
Please, our young nominees, stand where you are as we acknowledge your incredible work. Now, our 2020 young recipient, Vivian Fielding, was unable to join us tonight, so Premier Marshall, can you please do the honours?
Thanks very much, Ali. It's a real pleasure, and in fact I caught up with the Young South Australian of the Year for this current year only a few weeks ago when I was on the Anangu Pitjantjatjara Yankunytjatjara lands, and what an incredible story his is. And tonight we've heard with the nominees another 4 incredible stories of service and achievement and inspiration, and so we thank you and wish you all the very best. And I would point out that I'm not related to any of the marshals that have been nominated. But it is in fact my great pleasure to announce tonight that the 2021 Young Australian of the Year for South Australia is Isabel Marshall.
Sorry, that was such a girl thing to do, but you're finally getting your photo with the Premier and the big award and you've got your name tag on there, so that's okay. We know exactly who you are now. 18 years of age, starting that incredible enterprise. I won't even tell you what I was doing when I was 18 because Mum still doesn't know. What was it? Why was it so important for you then to start on this incredible journey? And I hate using that word, but what it's been?
No, it has been a journey, yeah. Well, firstly, I just want to really honour and celebrate co-founder of Taboo and our managing director, Eloise Hull. We've been on this journey together, so I really want to thank her for that. Yeah, so pretty much Taboo exists, you know what the model is, but it exists to address all the disadvantages that women around the world face because of their period. Period poverty looks very different to women in different countries, different communities and cultures. At one end of the spectrum, 30% of girls in Nepal, Afghanistan and Kenya drop out of school as soon as they get their period. And that might be because they can't afford or can't access good quality pads. And if they're using alternatives like kitchen sponges or mattress rippings, you can imagine the risk of infection and reproductive illnesses on top of that. And then across the world, there's a shame and a stigma attached to periods that all women in this room will relate to. And I guess Eloise and I, we came to those facts and we came to those ideas and we became a bit angry that this natural bodily function that is responsible for keeping us all alive, keeping our species alive, has such shame attached to it and has actually become a barrier to education and equality for women. So we started Taboo with the purpose of selling our own 100% organic cotton pads and tampons to the Australian market, which is an amazingly big and supportive market, and using 100% of our profits, funneling those profits into an organisation, an amazing organisation called One Girl, who work in Sierra Leone and Uganda to address period poverty and make sure girls stay in school and work.
Of course you were doing that when you were 18. How amazing is that? So then you're also doing all of the study on top of it. What do you think this award will now mean for you and Eloise moving forward?
I guess this is a very community and advocacy-driven mission that we have. The more people know about Taboo, the more people can buy our product and the more people can take us on as retailers. And the more we can speak to schools, we love speaking to schools, doing presentations about period poverty, starting our own business and menstrual health care in general. The more people we get involved, the more we can ultimately donate to One Girl. And the more we can address that period poverty and make sure girls are at school and working. I'd also like to point out that period poverty is an issue in Australia as well. We have 1 million people in Australia in the category of suffering from period poverty. And we've partnered with some amazing local organisations, NPY Women's Council and also Vinnie's Crisis Centre to address those that we've identified as at-risk groups for period poverty, so the Indigenous groups and the women experiencing domestic violence and needing crisis care. So they still get their periods and they need that support as well. So we are so overwhelmed to be here and have this coverage, so thank you so much.
Congratulations. Isabel Marshall, Young South Australian for 2021. So before moving on to the final two awards for this evening, an event like this is not possible without generous support. So I just wanted to take some time to acknowledge our sponsors and supporters. So our National Diversity and Inclusion partner, Chevron, helps us inspire and foster unity and connect people of all ages and backgrounds. The Australia of the Year category partner in Australia Post supports our national recipient in the delivery of their vital messaging nationwide. The Department of Health is our category partner for the Senior Australian of the Year award, and the Department of Home Affairs is the Local Hero Award category partner. Also like to thank broadcasting partner, the ABC, who will screen the national announcement live on ABC and iView on January the 25th. And the ABC also helps us connect with local communities all around Australia on radio, TV, online, especially Monday to Friday weekdays between 6 and 9. I don't get to do ads on the ABC. That was my one go. All right, our media partner as well, the Australian Community Media helps us inspire millions of Australians by telling the stories of our extraordinary state and territories recipients and supporting our call for nominations nationwide. Our alumni partner is the International Day of People with a Disability, and we also thank our official hotel partner, the Intercontinental Hotel Group, and we appreciate your warm hospitality for our travelling nominees and recipients. We want to thank our cultural partner, the Australian National University, who, through its schools of art and music and the amazing students there, have designed the trophies and composed all the music you're hearing being played for our recipients today. And thanks also goes to our exhibition partner, the National Museum of Australia, who delivers the Australian of the Year exhibition around the country right throughout the year. And last, but certainly not least, we do appreciate the continued support of our legal partner in Minter Ellison. Please put your hands together and thank these incredible organisations for helping this happen. I would now like to invite His Excellency, the Honourable Hugh Van Lay, to the stage to say a few words. We're just making sure it's all clean.
Thank you very much. Well, good evening all. To the Premier, Minister, Leader of the Opposition, Parliamentary representatives, Lord Mayor, all the distinguished guests who have been acknowledged, all the winners and finalists, ladies and gentlemen. I too would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land that we're gathering here this evening, the Kaurna people, and we respect their spiritual relationship with the country. And I thank Jack Buskin for his gracious welcome to the country. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so pleased to be with you all this evening. Australia is considered to be a lucky country in so many ways. We are blessed with breathtaking landscapes, unique flora and fauna, and abundant natural resources. And while we are so fortunate to enjoy these nature's gifts, I believe our greatest gift of all is our people. This year has been a very challenging time. South Australians have risen to the occasion, and our state remains one of the safest places to be in the world. And as Premier mentioned earlier, this is a solid testament to the strong community spirit here in South Australia. We can say that we believe in the common good, a true egalitarian community, that each one of us is prepared for some personal sacrifice in the interest of the whole society. And we can all care and look after one another and pursue excellence in everything that we do. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's nominees for the Australian of the Year Awards exemplify these ideals. I was so impressed to read about the 16 award finalists and to hear their stories, and why they have all faced various challenges in their lives, as we all do. They are united by a common goal, and this is to be of service to others and to create a better place in which we can all live and be proud to call home. These nominees seek no personal recognition, which makes it even more important for us to acknowledge and honor them, to show that we as a community do appreciate their efforts. Reading the outstanding work and dedication of these award nominees always make me proud to be a South Australian, and I can't help but feel optimistic about our future. This year, the nominees come from a wide range of backgrounds and walks of life, and I would like to congratulate Russell Ebert, the 2021 South Australians local hero, legend on the field, legend off the field. Go Power, that's my message. I also like to congratulate Isabel Marshall, winners of 2021 Young Australian of the Year. What an incredible story. Your awards are very, very much deserved. I would like to acknowledge the wide range of professions and endeavours encompassed by this year's finalists, from leading the field in health and well-being to social entrepreneurship, from advocacy for animals and significant work in the botanical field, to outstanding leadership roles in sports, arts, Aboriginal cultures and languages, from an active role in social justice, public education on road safety, to charity supports for the homeless and the welfare service to most at-risk children. The nominees of this year's award reflect the enormous range of talents and skill that we have here in South Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to acknowledge the excellent work and dedication of the Chair, Peter Sokas, and board members, the CEO and all staff of Australia Day Council for coordinating these awards and for their commitment to celebrating outstanding citizens in our community. Congratulations once again to all of our finalists, and I wish you the very best. I look forward to presenting the final two awards in just a short moment. Thank you and good evening.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you. I think we're cleaning things so well up there that's why it slid down there. Thank you very much. Now we're on to the next award, which is the Senior Australian of the Year. And this celebrates the ongoing achievements of Australians aged 65 years or over who continue to challenge themselves and inspire others.
Our senior Australians are so inspiring. A lifetime of work. They can really show the young people of Australia a way forward. And these awards where we recognise the Senior Australian of the Year is a real platform to put them in the spotlight.
Only by accepting, correcting and building on mistakes can we eventually experience the satisfaction of doing something or seeing something that has never been done or seen before.
I pray that all people in our wonderful country, Australia, regardless of language, culture, skin colour or religious belief, may stand tall as proud Australians.
Reading is probably the most powerful thing that you can give to a child, reading and stories.
It's a reflection and acknowledgement of people who have pretty much had a lifetime of making a contribution to this nation and inspiring those people around them.
We are a nation built on stories, and the stories our Senior Australians of the Year tell are of tireless dedication, perseverance and commitment to improving the lives of others. This award gives us an opportunity to celebrate our Senior Australians and the achievements of their life's work.
Senior Australians have contributed greatly to the building of this nation. The Senior Australian of the Year Awards are an opportunity to recognise the outstanding contribution that you continue to make. The people nominated for these awards are role models for their families, their peers, for all Australians, no matter their age.
We need to remember that we adults are the drivers for the world our children experience every day. Raising children is so much more than a family responsibility.
The road has not been easy, and we need to be more accepting of each other.
I stand here representing all of you. This is a whole of nation effort now, and I'm very proud and thrilled that this award will help propagate our efforts.
Our senior Australians have had a lifetime of experience, but it doesn't stop now.
The Senior Australian of the Year category have and continue to shape our nation.
Senior Australian of the Year are
Professor Richard make a difference to the lives of people living in intellect.
History shows us the amazing fields of endeavour that have been covered off in the Australian of the Year awards. We've got musicians, we've got scientists, medical researchers, even some sports people. I think it's a broad reflection of the qualities of people we have around the nation.
Unlike me, you don't have to go overseas to realise your dreams. You can realise them right here. Just look into your own heart and look to your own land.
I'm going to continue to be myself, keep standing up for what I believe in, and hopefully by doing this, other people will follow.
Our Australians of the Year are truly extraordinary. We can all be proud of the contributions they have made to our nation and the remarkable things they have achieved. They lead us, inspire us, help those in need and make our country a far better place.
I think it's really important for all Australians to really think about who these people are and what they've done, not just for themselves, but for everyone.
There's a temptation to take the easy route. I think that life will be better if we mould it to make it as comfortable as possible.
Time is short, get amongst it and take your kids with you.
Australia Post, we celebrate the effort and endeavours of Australians who make a profound difference in their community and for our country. We're thrilled to be able to acknowledge the incredible Australians through the Australian of the Year Award, and with the National Australia Day Council, we're proud to recognise Australians who are making a difference.
If I can make a difference to someone else's life, if they can draw some strength by hearing what I say and knowing that I'm speaking on their behalf, it'll give me a lot of hope.
I thank from the bottom of my heart those of you who give of your time, give of your expertise, give of your hearts, and especially those who risk their lives to make this country the greatest place on earth. Thank you.
The Australian of the Year.
I'd now like to invite our 2020 Senior Australian of the Year, Sylvia McMillan, to join us on stage. And she can make the all-important announcement. There you are, Sylvia. Come on.
The announcement for the year is Professor Richard Bruggeman.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Goodness.
Did you ever think that you would be standing on a stage like this accepting such an incredible award?
No, but then I didn't think I'd be this old.
Why was your work and why is your work so very important to you? We heard a couple of examples of what you've been involved in most recently, but all the way through your life.
Well, I started working in this field when in 1984, when I was the CEO of the Intellectual Disability Services Council. And I came into that job, as all CEOs probably do, thinking they know everything. And I spent the next 36 years learning from people with intellectual disability and their families. From people with intellectual disability, I saw the humanity in them, grace, forgiveness, humility. In their parents, I saw determination, never giving up, always having the interests of your son or daughter at heart. It was an incredible learning experience. In those early days, we were really concerned about providing services to people. Almost like if you provide services, their lives are fulfilled. Well, does that work for us? You know, we need services when things are going badly, like a dentist or a doctor or a lawyer. But when we've got rid of our toothache, we don't think a great deal about our dentist, unfortunately. The things that are important to us are our jobs, our relationships, our interests, our hobbies, our sport. And those exact same things are important to people with intellectual disability. And I think we've got a great opportunity now that we've done that service bit and we've got the NDIS providing the support for people, that we continue to find opportunities where people with intellectual disability can contribute to our community. They contribute now, they work, they're involved in an array of things that probably many of us wouldn't understand. And we need to see that continue and flourish, because my view is that when everyone in our community does better, our community does better. And people with intellectual disability have a great deal to offer our community. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you so much. Wow. And so now we move to the final award this evening, and this is the 2021 South Australian of the Year.
History shows us the amazing fields of endeavour that have been covered off in the Australian of the Year awards. We've got musicians, we've got scientists, medical researchers, even some sports people. I think it's a broad reflection of the qualities of people we have around the nation.
Unlike me, you don't have to go overseas to realise your dreams. You can realise them right here. Just look into your own heart and look to your own land.
I'm going to continue to be myself, keep standing up for what I believe in, and hopefully by doing this, other people will follow.
Our Australians of the Year are truly extraordinary. We can all be proud of the contributions they have made to our nation and the remarkable things they have achieved. They lead us, inspire us, help those in need, and make our country a far better place.
I think it's really important for all Australians to really think about who these people are and what they've done, not just for themselves, but for everyone.
There's a temptation to take the easy route. I think that life will be better if we mould it to make it as comfortable as possible.
Time is short, get amongst it and take your kids with you.
Australia Post, we celebrate the effort and endeavours of Australians who make a profound difference in their community and for our country. We're thrilled to be able to acknowledge the incredible Australians through the Australian of the Year Award, and with the National Australia Day Council, we're proud to recognise Australians who are making a difference.
If I can make a difference to someone else's life, if they can draw some strength by hearing what I say and knowing that I'm speaking on their behalf, it'll give me a lot of hope.
I thank from the bottom of my heart those of you who give of your time, give of your expertise, give of your hearts, and especially those who risk their lives to make this country the greatest place on earth. Thank you.
The Australian of the Year, they really do reflect what's important as an individual and collectively as a nation to the rest of the country, and they'll continue to shape the nation as we move in the future.
So how about we meet some incredible South Australians? Here are your nominees for 2021.
Tanya Hosch, whose powerful, principled leadership is transforming the AFL. Tanya is the first Indigenous person and second woman appointed to the AFL executive. In this role, she is creating a better, more inclusive workplace and community for all. From reviewing anti-vilification policies to advocating for Indigenous players and driving a world-first gender diversity policy, Tanya's work with the AFL is groundbreaking. Tanya is one of Australia's preeminent Indigenous leaders, pursuing constitutional recognition of Australia's First Nations people. In 2020, she drove a hugely successful social media campaign protecting Indigenous communities from COVID-19. Jennifer Howard, who escaped a violent relationship in her 20s and was forced to leave her pets behind. Tragically, she never saw them again. Jennifer decided to use her experience to help others in similar situations and started Safe Pets, Safe Families charity. As CEO, Jennifer leads 450 volunteers to provide emergency services for people and their pets facing domestic violence, homelessness, mental illness and medical emergencies. Inspired by Jennifer's passion, hard work and dedication, Safe Pets, Safe People has helped more than 800 clients and 1,000 animals. Joy O'Hazy, an Adelaide doctor who created the birthing kit to help stop women and children dying from pregnancy and childbirth complications. Every year, 295,000 women around the world die from these complications, and almost 2.5 million newborns die within the first month. Many would have survived with access to basic items inside the birthing kit, a Ziploc bag containing gloves, string, gauze, soap and other essentials. Through the Birthing Kit Foundation, now Kit International, Joy has provided access to more than 2 million birthing kits and trained more than 10,000 traditional birth attendants, saving countless mothers and babies. Professor Nicola Spurrier, the South Australian Chief Public Health Officer, who has been instrumental in the state's highly successful strategic response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Nicola's calm and honest approach has informed and comforted South Australians when they've tuned in to daily COVID-19 updates. Nicola has also advised the public in their response to the virus, coordinated state and national agencies, and educated key community groups, professionals and clinicians. Her compassionate leadership and sound public health advice has helped make South Australia one of the safest places in the world during COVID-19.
Please stand, our incredible nominees, so we can show you the gratitude for your amazing work. Professor Spurrier, were you tempted to dance just a little? If I could now ask for our 2020 Australian of the Year, Dr. James Mukie, to come to the stage and make the announcement.
At the beginning of the year, our Prime Minister Scott Morrison said this is going to be the toughest year of our lives. And so I've been Australian of the Year in the toughest year of our lives. And it's been tough for me, for sure. This is my 5th speaking engagement, and I've only been given 1 minute to speak. It's been terrifying. Imagine telling people not to eat chocolate and ice cream. And it's also been absolutely thrilling. It's been one of the most extraordinary years of my life. And I can't thank enough the South Australian Australia Day Council and the National Australia Day Council for giving me this opportunity. It's just been brilliant. So the platform of Australian of the Year will never be quite the same again, because the world's never going to be quite the same again. And so I congratulate all the nominees in this category, and I'm really excited to find out who the 2021 Australian of the Year is, and I wish them all the very best. So the 2021 Australian of the Year for South Australia is Tanya Hosch.
I ran into you at the start of this evening and said, wow, how's work been going for you? How have you managed everything that you were trying to achieving with the AFL and broader reconciliation in this year of all years?
Webinars, WebEx meetings, Zoom meetings, and perhaps a few more phone calls than usual.
So what does something like this award mean, and this recognition for you?
Well, it's pretty surprising, I have to say, because a lot of what I do and get to talk about is not generally the sort of thing that people congratulate you for. You're raising issues that people find hard to talk about, whether it be racism or any other form of discrimination. So I often find I make myself unpopular more than anything else, but that is also a great privilege, and I think one of the things that I'm sure every nominee here understands is that you can't change things on your own. It takes a community, it takes a whole society, and if you get the opportunity to use your voice, to make sure that people don't forget that everyone matters, that not one of us in this room is any better than anyone else, regardless of your station in life, regardless of the privilege you've had. I think what awards like this demonstrate, and which is why I'm so thankful to have this opportunity and a bit blown away, is because it's only by working together for the things that matter that any change happens.
Isn't that wonderful? So, turns out your 2021 is going to be a little bit different than what you possibly planned. What were the next steps? What were the next things that you were striving for and planning for?
I guess before I answer that, I don't want to leave the stage without acknowledging my family, my husband Andrew and my daughter Marley, who tolerate a huge amount of absence from home, and the whole extended family who's with us tonight as well, who, without them, there's no way I could go off and do the things that I get to do. But in answer to your question, I guess what I do want to say is that we're spending a lot of time thinking about the impact of social media, and it can be a great asset, but it can also do enormous harm. And there's a lot of focus on how we deal with some of those challenges. But what I do want to say is that we must not forget that systemic racism still exists. We can get very focused on what's happening on Twitter and Facebook that is negative, but we do still have to tackle the discrimination that still exists in a lot of the systems that drive the world and certainly still impact on the life experiences of a lot of people, and we must not forget about that.
Please congratulate Tanya Hosch, South Australian winner for Australian of the Year. Thank you so much. So to all of our winners and all of our nominees, congratulations. These winners now are our South Australian recipients for 2021, and they will represent us, our state, at the Australian of the Year Awards nationally. So again, the Prime Minister will announce the national recipients on the eve of Australia Day, live at 7:30 in Canberra. So on behalf of all of us, I wish all of our recipients and nominees the very, very best and success in their continuing and future endeavours. And to our recipients, we wish you all the best in this next stage as you head to Canberra. Remember, if you would like to be involved and explore and send some of these incredible stories a little bit further in your community, make sure you do it on social media, and that hashtag there is Oz of the Year, AUS. So that brings us to the end of our formal proceedings, but please do stay and enjoy the rest of the evening with us and take the opportunity to meet some of these wonderful people in this room. Please do it in a COVID-safe way, and I encourage you all maybe to start thinking about future people you would like to nominate, people in your communities, in your networks, in your families that you could possibly see standing up here for the amazing work they do. So you can actually nominate someone right now. Get to for the 2022 Australian of the Year Awards, you just go to australianoftheyear.org.au. Now finally, the last bit of housekeeping, if I can ask all nominees, award recipients and guests of honour to come over to this side of the stage just for some more photos, because you haven't had enough, all right? We'll get that done for you. And make sure you do bring your trophies with you as well. But for everybody else, thank you so much for being here in this celebration. I do hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.